TxDOT, we're ending summer. Jason Britch is here to talk back to school travel. It's something that, it's the hardest thing because you're trying to get to your place on time and you're trying to get everybody dropped off, and did you get your backpack, and your mind is on a million things. I've had that before.
Yeah, so school just started back up last week for our school districts across the state, and I mean across the panhandle and the state. And it's a chaotic scene. It really is. For that first few weeks, people are still trying to figure out, even though it's the same school, you need to figure out where you can drop off your kids and where kids need to go. And yeah, again, like you said, you're worrying about, do they bring everything? So sometimes their mind's not fully on the road and their mind is somewhere else, which is, sometimes it's understandable, but this is why we come out and talk about this, because we need to remind drivers and kids that are going to be walking to school and walking into the school zones and whatnot about the safety of it, because that's what it's all about. Because things can change at a moment's notice when you're going through a school zone. That's why we have speed limit reductions. That's why we urge people to get off their phone whenever they're going through a school zone, because there's hundreds of parents and hundreds of kids trying to get where they need to be, and so everyone needs to be paying full attention when they go through those school zones and when they're driving even just near school, because kids are trying to get to school safely.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about that, of course, because you have all the safety ramifications that that can come with that, and of course I feel like that should be enough motivation to tell people to slow down and everything. But there's also a lot of legal ramifications as well. I mean, you don't have to necessarily get in a crash. If you're just caught speeding in a school zone, I mean, they're really going to come down on you hard for that.
Yeah, not only speeding, but if you're on your phone, that's another thing that comes with law enforcement's really been cracking down on, is school zone speeding, because traffic fines double. They're already a lot. They're going to double if you're speeding in a school zone, and rightfully so, because you're putting a lot of lives at risk if you're speeding and not paying attention to the rules of the road. And there's things that drivers can do, and there's things that pedestrians and students can do when they're going through those school zones. Like some of the easy going for pedestrians, walk facing traffic, so that way they can see you. Make eye contact with them so they know you're in the area. If there's a sidewalk for the pedestrians, stay on it. Stay on the sidewalk. That's why it's there. Don't be in the roadway. It's so dangerous, because sometimes you could be behind a car. They may not see you, and it's just a dangerous situation. Only cross at crosswalks or designated crossings, because if you cross in the middle of the street, drivers aren't anticipating people crossing the street, even though they should. They can anticipate it more when they get to those crossings and those sidewalks, and you have the crossing guards and the lights, the pedestrian lights that are in the area as well. And a lot of places you'll see the flashing beacons. You'll see the school zone lights flashing, like, hey, you're going into a school zone. So that's a part of paying attention and putting your phone down and reducing speed, so that way you have enough time to make those smart decisions, because things can change within a second if you're not paying attention, especially within school zones. Last year in the Amarillo district, there was 12 traffic crashes. Thankfully, there were no deaths, but there was a serious injury. And those 12 traffic crashes, there could have been more had circumstances changed. So it's still an issue, and that's why we're still here to talk about it, because people need to realize that it's a dangerous situation if you're not paying attention when you're driving through a school zone, because of the amount of people that are in that area, not just drivers and vehicles, but pedestrians that with things that could result in serious injuries.
Right. And remember, some kids ride their bikes to school.
Yeah.
We got to be so careful. That's one thing I just really slow down and really move over.
And that's why we always emphasize eye contact, because just because you see the driver doesn't mean the driver is going to see you. So that's why we always urge pedestrians or people that are on their bikes or however they're getting to school, make sure the driver sees you, so that way they know to stop, to yield, to make their adjustments as need be, so that way we can avoid a very dangerous situation.
Sure.
Right. And also let's talk about real quick here too, coming up towards the end of the work week here. You guys have this event coming up, a great way for folks just to kind of get some reminders about some great safety tips.
Yeah, absolutely. We are having a TxDOT kind of a traffic safety day over here on Friday at the Travel Information Center. I don't know the address right off my head, but I can tell you it's right next to Buc-ee's.
Yes.
There we go.
That's the easiest thing I can tell you, is we're right across the street from Buc-ee's over at the Travel Information Center on eastbound I-40, just over there off of Airport Boulevard. And it's going to be a really fun day. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday, and we're going to have our rollover simulator. If people don't know what that is, it's the name, the description's in the title, basically. It shows what can happen if you or people that are in your vehicle don't wear a seatbelt. And so it's very eye-opening, and it makes it tangible. You can see how dangerous it is and the difference it can make whenever you wear a seatbelt whenever you're in a traffic crash. We're also going to have car seat checks to make sure your car seat is legal, it's good, and it's as safe as possible for the people that, or for the kids that are going to be riding in it. There'll also be a car seat giveaway. So and there's going to be a lot of information, a lot of brochures, a lot of just informing the public on what all they can do to be safe. And so that'll be Friday, August 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Travel Information Center.
Alrighty. Good folks over there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Best.
Jason, thanks.
You're
Good
welcome.
information.
Of course.
Appreciate you always.